Well, Le Corbusier is well known with that name because it's considered the most important architect in the 20th century. I discovered Le Corbusier in the same year in which I started studying architecture, because it was the same year in which he died. And I got a grant from the Le Corbusier Foundation, which was something that I really didn't expect, because I had the opportunity to live for 3 months in total in the house of where Le Corbusier lived from 1930 to the moment he died. There are many layers in Le Corbusier, and what I learned in my research is that I had to link his life experience with his thinking, with the way he was writing letters to his mother or to his wife, and then that linked it with something that he's writing in an article, and then linked it with a painting that he's making, and seeing how that reacts with some project that he's making. So you have to understand a whole complex situation. I'm specifically focusing mainly on the relationship that Le Corbusier had with Latin America. He made two main trips. One in 1929, he went to Argentina, Uruguay, and Brazil. And then in 1936, that he went to Brazil. Both were kind of invitations to make lectures, but he was in fact trying to get some good projects or big projects to make. He produced about 400 projects. He didn't build it that much, he built about 40. But he wrote 40 books, for instance, and he painted more than 400 big paintings. So it's a huge production, and I would say that there is no architect that has done that. And I think that was one of the keys in which he really is more powerful than other architects, because he was linking those three things, or those four things, because he was developing his ideas, he was testing that through the paintings, and then he was converting that in a way in architecture. And if you follow that, you can follow the way in which he worked, which is his kind of method of working. And that combination is the combination that is very special, because that makes him a kind of modern Da Vinci. He used some tricks, let's say, and I think those things are useful when you work with students, because you can give them those kind of tricks, and that helps them to evolve. For instance, he was always repeating and reiterating his own projects. He was not copying himself, he was making them evolve. So he was always taking the same kind of idea and placing it in a different way many times. That's an important thing to learn, that you are not throwing away what you're doing. You are keeping it and reshaping it and remaking it again and again and again. Le Corbusier is far away of being dead. He's still there, and he's still teaching. I have another painting there, which is shown in 3 images of 3 different kind of horses. And I have it because one of the things, when you were saying what changed in my life, is because I took that like my kind of leitmotif too. Because he says, the first image is Don Quixote. And he says, you have to be fighting with windmills, which means you have to be fighting with kind of sometimes fantasy things, about things that you kind of think that you don't know exactly what they are. Then he said, he used the image of the Troy horse. So he says, you have to have your own Troy horse, which means that you have to have something inside you that is in a way hidden, and is the way in which you are going to win the battle. But it is what you have inside. And then the last one is that you have a mule, which is another kind of horse that really what it does is working hard, working hard, working hard. So in a way it's having dreams, having a strategy, and working a lot. And that's a kind of idea of how life can be.